Hey, what is going on? So, the dreaded day is here. It is Friday, November 10th, and the boat comes out of the water today. You know, when I put the boat in the water in the beginning of the season, I always think, man, I just never want this day to come. But it's here. Blue line's on the way, and I'm going to be making preparations to have it pulled out. So, it's been an amazing season. Did a lot of great stuff. We did a lot of cool stuff with the boat this year. Caught a lot of really good fish. I mean, we murdered the stripers. We caught a cobia. Never thought I would boat a cobia. Didn't have so much luck with the fluke this year, but that's the way it goes. But some things to do to get it ready. If you watched my video back in the beginning of the season when I launched this boat, I showed you guys the procedure that I went through to get it ready to go in. Well, now we're doing all the things to get it ready to come out. Bring it home, chalk it, put it on stands, and it'll live at my house with the nice canvas cover on it for the winter. That's life here in the Northeast. That's what we have to do with our boats. We won't be winterizing the engine in this video because that's another video which I'll have Browns Point come, and then they'll do the full service to the engine, change the oil, the zincs, all the anodes in the engine, the lower unit oil, water pumps, the whole nine, and we'll do a separate video on that because they're not coming today. They'll be coming later. But they have been called, and they know when the boat comes home that they come and they do their winterization. So, there she is. I got lines to untie, I've got gas to prep, I got to put the fuel stabilizer in. I'm just going to go through the whole spiel. It's not a big deal. It's much less to take it out than it is to put it in, believe it or not, but it's all part of the process. And if I don't sound like I'm too excited, it's because, yeah, I'm going to lay my boat up for the better part of 4.5 to 5 months. And again, life in the Northeast, it's what we do. But hey, it's been a great season. Lots and lots of great memories were made on it this summer, and we're going to look forward to more memories being made next year. So I'm going to get to work. All right, so let me just step aboard. Now, I cleaned this boat the other day. I gave it one last scrub, so she's pretty clean. No doubt I am dirtying up the floor with footprints. Oh yeah. But she's clean for the most part. All the bird poop is gone, all of the... We get a ton... I get a ton of road grime on this boat because I'm docked next to a highway bridge. And as the cars are flying back and forth across the bridge, they kick up dust. And that dust goes airborne and it floats down onto all of our boats. And you can see the bridge right there. All right. And that bridge causes our boats to get filthy dirty while they sit here in the slips. But you know, like I said, that's just boat maintenance. I live really close to my boat. I can come down here 2-3 times. I can come down here every day if I wanted to. And I grab the hose, I rinse the boat off, and she looks great. So it's a little bit of a, you know, a thing to do, but that's really all it is. It's a thing to do. Keeps the boat looking good, and that's how I like to keep my boat. All right, so this is pretty much my engine data for this season. So as you can see, I mean, it gives me my nautical miles since I put this engine on, but I'm at 146 hours. I started the season at 94. So, you know, and by a lot of standards, that might not be a lot of time. Some people use their boats way more than that. But with having 2 boats, I put about 50 hours on the engine this year. Ran super good. No complaints. Love the way this engine runs. But that's my data. That's where I'm going to be finishing up for the season. 146, maybe 147 by the time I run it around the bay and put it up on the trailer and get it home. So I just fired it up and it's warming up. And like I said, I'm just waiting for Steve to open the store. I'm just waiting for Steve to open up the store so I can go get some Startron and add it to it. I'm a little behind in my preparation. I'm usually a lot better with my prep, but I've been so busy lately. My son's been going to colleges. He's a baseball player, so he's been going to showcases and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So we've been riding around doing that. My daughter had band competitions, and we've been doing that, and you know, the fun stuff, you know, watching your kids do what they love to do. So Took a little time away from just some of the prep time, but it's no big deal. My marina has a ship store. I can get these essentials here. I don't have to leave. I'm just waiting for him to come down and open up, which should be in about a half hour. And I'll throw that in there. And really that's all I need to do here, other than when I take off, I got to take my lines off. What I'll do is set my camera up so you can see. So I will take all of my dockwear with me. My bow lines, which are tied to this ring, which goes up and down with the tide, I'll untie them there, take those with me. My spring line, which goes from that very same ring back to my mid cleat, and then continues down and ties up with my stern lines, which goes to a D-ring and goes around that cleat. So I will take all these lines out. I'll put them in my dock box, which lives here all winter long. I just, secure it up real good, and then it'll be in there waiting for me next year. So I'll have my spring lines, which are all perfectly adjusted, and all I have to do is kind of just reapply them or reattach them to the dock when I launch next year. And that's really all there is to it here at the marina. The big bulk of the job is back at the house, putting it back on blocks. You saw us take it off the blocks in the other video. And if you haven't seen that video, check it out. This is a bigger boat, sort of trailer, but I guess if you're like a Florida guy, this is nothing, because I see Florida guys towing boats down the road with 4 outboards on them. I mean, they're experts at it. For me, no, I keep it in a slip at the marina and I bring it home and I chalk and block. So I can get under it and sand it and prep my bottom to the way I want to when the spring comes around. So you're gonna see exactly how we put it back on the blocks. And in the last video when we launched back in May, you saw us take it off and bring it here. So this is the opposite of that video. So check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, this is what I do every year. And I dread it. I miss my boat when it's not in the water. I'm here every day pretty much. I love the water. As you know, this channel is based on outdoors. We've done a lot of fishing, but when the boats get put away, we're gonna start hunting. As you can see, a lot of guys have pulled out already, but there's still a few boats left here. But a lot of boats have called it quits for the season. And a lot of these guys probably just haven't gotten around to pulling them out. I haven't seen some of these boats move in a long time. And like, I check the water every morning when I'm done working out just to see if it's nice out. If it's nice, I jump on my boat and go. That's the beauty of a 24-foot center console. Whoa, I'm tripping. I'm trying to hold the camera, I'm trying to hold my morning drink. It's tough. But usually, a typical day in the life of me is to just get up early as I can, get my workout in. I always check the water out every single day. And if it's nice, I think about taking a boat out, whether it's this one or the Whaler. Now the good news is, with this boat going to bed now, I could use the Whaler. And the reason I pull it now as opposed to keeping it in a little longer, and maybe some of you out there are asking yourselves, well, why doesn't he just leave it in if he doesn't like to pull his boat out? Because I shut the water off. And the water system here gets winterized. So Steve, the owner of Seaboard Marine, he runs a business. He's got to take care of his business. He doesn't need ruptured pipes when you get those crazy freezing nights. And we've had some cold nights. It's 42 degrees right now. It's cold. So I would imagine in the next week or so, the water will be shut off for good. And then there's no more rinsing the motor. There's no more washing the boat. And to operate that way, just for 1 or 2 trips or 1 or 2 more trips, just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm all about putting it away. I could still use my Whaler. I can go down south and blackfish. I can go out in the bay with it and still, pull a mojo or an umbrella rig for stripers, or even throw plugs if it's calm. You get a nice day in the boat, in the water the boat goes, and off I go. This boat, put away, save it for next year. Because if I can't rinse it and I can't wash it, it's just gonna bother me that it gets filthy dirty, and if my engine sits there without a rinse, that's really gonna bother me. These things aren't cheap. You've heard me say it a million times. And in the last 5 years, I have bought 2 outboards. So they are expensive. I've been fortunate enough where I've been able to do that. I was able to sell the old motor off of this. I had a wave runner. That funded the purchase of this big 300. This boat's set up perfect. I love the way it runs. You saw us run it offshore when we caught that cobia. This thing had 4 guys on it, loaded down, full ice coolers, all our tuna tackle, rods galore, and we were still getting amazing numbers. 2.3 on the fuel burning about 11 gallons an hour. So, you know, you can't ask for a better fuel economy than that. Sometimes I wonder if my fuel gauge is broken. So, and we will be topping the tank off on the way home. But with the water being shut off, that's a huge operating thing for me. So once that's not an option, I take the boat out of the water. Again, I rebuilt that whaler for this very reason, to extend my season and to be able to take that boat wherever I want. So the whaler now becomes the primary boat to fish. So, yeah. So if you're asking yourself that question, that's the reason. All right, so I'm gonna add about half of this fuel stabilizer to my fuel so it will run into my engine. And I didn't have a funnel, so as you can see, I'm improvising. And I'm just gonna add this in like so, and then we'll be good to go. So that'll keep my fuel stabilized, and as the fuel pumps through the engine, then that stabilized fuel will live in the engine until I fire it up next spring. So very, very, very important step. So I added a little bit more than I needed to, but again, you can never overtreat when it comes to fuel stabilizing. So we're gonna load it on the trailer. We're gonna stop at the gas station just up the street, top off. I'll probably throw in about 50 gallons of fuel. That'll give me about between 3/4 and full. And all that'll be mixed in, and then all that stabilized fuel will be mixed into the engine as well. So when Browns Point comes to do their winterization, they'll be able to just continuously pump that stabilized fuel through the motor, which is going to be in there for a good part of 5 months. So that gives me the peace of mind I need to know that my engine is going to sit pretty for these next few months in the cold. So it'll fire right up in the spring and we'll be good to go. Okay, there's always one line that's going to be stubborn, and it's that spring line right there. That knot is super tight, and I'm gonna need some sort of screwdriver to wedge in there and get that out. So I definitely want to untie it, because again, it's about 50-60 bucks to put new ones in, and you know, it's not a lot of money, but it's, you know, listen, you know, you save where you can, and they're measured perfectly and they're nice, they're in great shape. So I want to get them untied so I can put them in my box for the season and use them again next year. So I'm gonna go find something to get that thing loose and get that off. I've got all the other ones off. This is temporarily tied just in a notch, just to keep the spring line so I don't go backwards into the dock. Mike from Blue Line is going to be here any minute, so it's okay to kind of sit loose in the slip at this point. And I'm just going to work on that line over there in the meantime. So yeah, it's a waiting game now. Okay, so Mike is here. He's pulling up. He's going to pull into the yard, get the trailer in position, and then I'm going to take the boat out of slip and just ride over and get it up on the trailer. Pretty simple. Nothing nothing too crazy. All basic end of the year stuff. All right, so tide was 6 o'clock this morning, so we're making sure we got enough water. I know that the ramp ends right about where that pylon is. I think it goes back about another 2 feet. So he's gonna back trailer in, and it looks like we'll have enough water to just about make it. So we are probably right about at the very, very latest we could have waited. So it's the way it goes at this ramp. It's a good ramp though, a lot of traction. It's like a gnarly ramp, a lot of gravel built into concrete, so you're not going to slip. We just got to hope we have enough water, but I think we will. So let's see what happens. So we are back at the ramp once again. You guys have seen this ramp a few times on this channel, but just showing you how we do things. Boat's going in, boat's going out. It's the name of the game. So I'm going to spot him up until the proper spot here. I think we're going to be just fine. looking good, I think. So that should be plenty of water. You got the lifting pads under the water. Pick it right up and it'll slide right in. I think we're good. You still got about another foot. I just don't want to chance it now that it's all picked up, but the ramp ends back there. About another 1.5 to 2 feet.
All right, well, I can stick this wheel. We can go a little bit beyond it as long as that one doesn't go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right, because you can keep this.
Yeah, so we could go back probably another 2 or 3 feet.
All right.
You got enough?
I think there's, yeah, if you go back more, it's a given. And just like that, we are out of the water. So hopping off, we're gonna secure it and get it ready for the ride home, and then we'll be back there chocking and blocking. See you there. All right, there she is, back on the trailer. Another great, successful, fun, memory-filled season on my Sailfish 2360. All right, a little quick stop to top off. We're going to put about 50 gallons in. That should put me right where I need to be. And then this thing is ready to go home and get back on the blocks. Yep, so we're just going to wait for that to get to 50 gallons, and then we're going to be out of here, heading back home. All right, so here's the resting spot for the winter time. I got Mike putting points of contact down. We got blocked on the keel. As you can see, keel blocked up front and back. Just like it was when they came and got it. And then I've had these jack stands for quite some time, and they are awesome. Makes life easier. They definitely are built to do just that. And just like that, we're down. We're home. We're landed. We are ready to winterize. Now, I have a couple more stands I'm going to put in place, and I'll show you how I do that. All right, so these jack stands are especially designed to be up front. And they're on an angle, and I'm going to show you exactly where these are going to live for the offset. Throw those right in like that. That's pretty much where this is going to live. This will sit right here. It will hold the boat up. It's on an angle, so it gives it that force in where it keeps it more stable. I am going to put something underneath it because this is softer ground and I don't want it digging in. So we'll put some boards down to give it more of a bigger footprint, less compression into the dirt. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then this boat is done. Very simple, just adjust them to the height you need. And I mean, this is a pretty long pole that's in here, a lot of threads, so you can make, you know, different type of boats. And you see this brace, you want this to go, along your keel line. You don't want it going across. That's where all the support will come from. So you're just going to I'm just going to give it a little bit of tension. I don't want to go too much because I don't have the other one set up, and that's pretty much it. So that's on there. That's going to help, give it additional support. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side with the other stand that I have. I have two of them, obviously. So, and we'll set this one up same way. As you can see, I got all of this scoped out. So we're going to just now we'll just fine tune it. So now I have 6 points of contact holding this boat in place. That's pretty much the layout. And that's it. She's in a resting place. Now I'll come out and check, especially the jack stands. I'll check them because they will, the ground's going to give a little. The boat weighs about 5,500, so the ground's going to settle, the boat's going to settle, and I'll just crank those adjustment knobs a little bit, and then we'll be good. But now I feel good about crawling on and off the boat. I will be able to get underneath the cover, and I'll be able to do those things I said I want to do. So I did loosen this before, but I didn't want to pull it because Mike was setting up blocks and I didn't want to have to see him lay in the water. I'm gonna let that drain, and now if we get any rain, anything gets in there moisture wise, it'll just drain out the keel. So we'll have the entire boat dry inside, especially when we put the cover on it. As you can see, it's already starting to empty out, and it's been draining for literally not even a minute. So boat has excellent drainage. Again, in that first video where I launched it, I talked about how important those scuppers are. They are right here. These scuppers here, a very integral part of any boat. The design is crucial. If you're looking at a boat to buy, you want to look at how it drains water out of it, because that's going to determine how it fares in bad weather. And this boat is exceptional in bad weather, so I haven't had to worry about it. It never takes on water. My front bilge does go off because I know my anchor locker does let water in, and it gets into that forward bilge, but that bilge pump has been great. I check it every year. I make sure the wiring's good, and so far so good. So she's home. Season is over. Boo-hoo. Right now I'm gonna go get a power washer and we're gonna clean up this boat. That's the next step. Okay, there is the boat. She is home, cleaned, power washed, and I'm just flushing one last flush of salt water for the season. But she is clean, shiny, and resting. And that's it. That's all I got for this video. So today's mission was pull the boat, get it home, block it, chalk it, block it, put the stands on, clean it, power wash it, and put the fuel treatment in. Next time, part 2, will be Browns Point coming and doing the winterization and service, the annual service on the motor. That will consist of motor oil, lower unit oil, the zinc in the anodes all around the engine block, and the water pump. So, and spark plugs. We're due for spark plugs this year. So I have them come and do it. I could do it myself. I certainly know how to do all that, but I like to have them do it. I keep a nice record of the maintenance. This engine is warranted until 2026, so I like to follow my maintenance schedules. I'll pay, you know, listen, it costs about $500. I know, you know, but I don't pay winter storage, so, because it stores here at my house, so I put that money into just having service done. Some of you out there might think that's crazy, but that's just how I roll, because I get a printout every year of the service that they do to the boat. I know everything that the engine's doing, RPMs, how much time I spend at a certain RPM. I like to look at all that, so I know how my engine's running, and also keeps a record that if I ever do sell the boat one day, I have complete records of every hour of this engine running, and I can show somebody, hey, it's never overheated, it's never thrown a code for this or that or that or this. It's been running smooth since I got it because I've kept up on the maintenance, so that's why I have them do it. So I hope that clears up anybody that might think, well, you pay $500 crazy. If you know how to do it yourself. Yes, maybe when it's out of warranty, I'll start doing that, but right now, while it's in warranty, I know I'm good. It's home. Now I just gotta get it winterized and covered. That'll be part 2. Winterizing the water system. I have a huge, heavy canvas cover that goes on this boat. I do not shrink wrap. It's awesome. When I bought the boat, I was leaving, and the gentleman that sold me the boat says, oh wait, I have something else for you. And he pulled out this giant cover on a wagon, and it weighs a good 100 and change. It's a heavy cover. Me and my son, it takes the 2 of us to get it on the boat. So that's for another day. Right now, just clean it up, get it home, rest it. I don't have to worry about it being in the water anymore. Water gets turned off at the marina, we're done. So now it's all about this guy. So we will be using the whaler. I hope to get out on this a couple more times this year. I certainly want a blackfish on it down South Jersey, and I'd like to pull a striper over the side of it. That would be awesome. I mean, heck, a year ago where I'm standing, there was a big brown tent, and I was sanding, scraping, painting. I was doing all kinds of stuff, and it seemed like this was so far away, but now she's just waiting for me to hook her up to the truck and take her somewhere. So that's what I'll do when I get a nice day between now and then. That's why I kind of can keep my sanity pulling my boat now, because I know a lot of people up here, they wait till December, because the blackfish run, you know, you can keep more blackfish, I believe, at the end of the month. But on a center console, and the way I like to flush and take care of everything, keep it clean, that's just not how I roll. So hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of the other half of that other video that did so well back in the spring. A lot of you guys watched it. A lot of you guys subscribed to the channel when I posted it. It was kind of an impromptu, hey Felipe, I'll film you launching the boat, and we'll show everybody how I do that, and you all seem to like it. So I hope you like this, because this is the other end of that. So, but it's part 1. Part 2 is Browns Point coming, doing the service, and I'm going to show you exactly what that entails, because if you have an outboard and you want to take care of it, that's good stuff to know. So I will show you in detail every step they do to make this engine run as good as it did. I had an amazing season with it. It ran flawlessly. I couldn't be happier with my boat and my motor. I'm always, if you're like me, you're always looking for a better boat. Oh, should I get this boat, get that boat? I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. This thing is cost effective. It can go offshore. It fishes the bay, and it's trailerable. I mean, I don't have a trailer. My friends do, but it can be brought home, put on my lot, and it doesn't cost me any money to sit here. And God forbid something happens schedule-wise and I couldn't put it in the water, it doesn't owe me anything because it's sitting right there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Let's keep it going. Let's keep climbing. Let's keep going. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. See you guys.